oppose Islamic outreach over Israel, he changed the course of history. No president since the modern state of Israel has failed to stand by our ally Israel. Only President Obama. Consider Egypt.
What?
You're so pure, you're so good.
Well, no, I mean, I still drink occasionally, and once in a while I'll indulge in something not protocol. I've been trying
different silos right now. I assume your wife is on board with this stuff.
She's never had meat in her life.
Really?
Yeah. That wasn't her choice.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good. I'm well.
Where are you at school?
Grove City College.
Oh, okay. Well, if you guys want to, we'd be more than happy to send you we print these out on demand and then ship them along with the stands. Right. You can put them up inside, outside, and have an event centered around.
So you don't think Israel's an apartheid state?
No. In fact, all the other states surrounding it actually have apartheid laws on the books. And
what about the West Bank and Gaza?
I mean, the West Bank and Gaza are areas that have been obviously disputed for a long time, but they're areas that Israel had to administer because of various wars.
Following the 1967 war with Egypt, essentially, they won those territories back. I mean, that's what happens in war.
Yeah. So they won them back.
Well, it was disputed territory, I believe, from the start.
Was it? Because the 1947 UN partition plan clearly states that that's Palestinian territory.
Yeah, but the Palestinians didn't accept that partition plan. They never accepted any plan.
But that's the plan that's on the books.
What?
That's the plan that's on the books. And the Israelis currently, whether you debate that or not, the Israelis are currently severely repressing all the Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza.
Yeah, but if you look at the international law, when there's a war that, when you fight a defensive war, as was the 1967 war, and you occupy territories, you're allowed to hold on to that territory until there is a peace treaty. There has never been a peace treaty between the Palestinians and the Israelis, so it's completely legal.
But territory aside, how do you justify the humanitarian crimes that Israel has committed against the Palestinians?
Like what? Explain to me.
Like repression. Why is it that the Palestinians have like a 50% unemployment rate in those places, while the Israelis have like a 3% unemployment rate?
That's a product of the dysfunctional society of the Palestinians.
Why is it that Palestinians are not allowed to leave the territory, and they're not allowed even to go to West Jerusalem, which is technically their territory, to buy any of their goods?
First of all,
and so Palestinians are dying at a much higher rate than Israelis anywhere in Israel.
Yeah, the reason why there's barriers is to protect people from terrorist attacks. I mean, if you look at what happened when the
how do you justify the massacres that Israelis have committed against the Palestinians?
Tell me about those, because I'm unaware of the massacres. I know exactly
the regular assaults that the Mossad makes into the West Bank and Gaza in order to take out so-called terrorists. Guaranteed, terrorists aside,
Isn't terrorism kind of the point, though? You can't say terrorism aside when Israel is in deadly danger every day from
national security of Israel to justify the humanitarian crimes that Israel has committed.
But you're not giving me any
the repression of the Palestinian people and not giving them economic freedom.
They're being repressed by their own leaders. What are you talking about? They voted in a terrorist organization as their governmental rulers. I mean, they're repressing themselves. Israel sends in 300 tons every week of aid into those territories. And in fact, when Israel was administering Gaza, before the military moved out, they had one of the fastest growing GDPs in the world. They had a much higher much higher life expectancy rate than they do now. So when the Israelis left, society crumbled. In fact, Morton Zuckerman was a very famous sort of philanthropist. There's all these greenhouses. Israel had established this amazing greenhouse business, agricultural business in Gaza, and the economy was thriving. And so Mortimer Zuckerman bought up all the greenhouses as the Israelis were leaving and donated it as a sign of goodwill to the Palestinians. Do you know what they did the day after the Israeli military left? They destroyed all the greenhouses and ransacked it because they didn't want anything to be to be used in those territories that have been built by Jews.
Okay.
So I don't know how you can explain to me.
So what you're saying is that the Israelis have helped the Palestinians while the Israelis were in there, and now that the Israelis have left, the territories have gotten worse since the Israelis have left.
Absolutely, yes, it's a fact.
Okay. Do you see any burden of duty for the Israelis to take care of the Palestinians in those territories?
They were taking care of them. That's what I was just explaining to you.
At this point.
Listen, I think that if there were an ability to live in a peaceful environment, then Israelis could offer a lot of help to those places that are struggling economically. But they're destroying their own society because of their hatred for Jews.
You don't think peace is possible?
No, absolutely not. It's not possible.
Okay, so
if you look at their core beliefs, and especially in our generation, there's polls that say 90% of people will never accept a Jewish state and want to push all the Jews into the sea. They want to commit genocide. They want to kill all the Jews. So how could there ever be peace with those type of people?
So what then do you see as being the way forward? Because if you don't see there as being a possible way for peace, all that you're doing at this point is basically just spewing out vitriolic.
Well, we need to get rid of the terrorist organizations that are running those areas.
What do you mean by
we need to destroy and eliminate Hamas.
So you're saying kill off people.
Wait, who's we need to destroy Hamas?
You're talking about the United States
government? I just want to know.
No, I'm not talking about the United States government. Okay, I'm just saying that that's what needs to happen. I'd go do it myself. I mean,
so you're saying the United States government?
No, I'm not saying the United States government needs to go out there and do it. Israel has a right to defend themselves.
I mean, ideally, the Palestinians would overthrow Hamas themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be ideal, right? But it seems like they're involved too much in line with it.
Okay, so you're saying that Hamas needs to leave, and then you think it'll be all okay if Hamas leaves?
No, because Fatah is almost as bad.
Yeah, so you said basically what you're saying is
there needs to be new leaders.
If the entire Palestinian people is what you're saying are completely corrupted from their education.
I'm talking about the leadership. I'm talking about the leadership.
Well, but you're saying that the Palestinian people want to commit genocide against the Israelis.
There's soccer teams.
Okay.
There's soccer teams that are named after terrorists. They glorify terrorists.
But at that
in town
point,
squares.
if all the Palestinian people hate the Jews, you need to kill off all the Palestinian people in order to save the Jews. Is that what you want?
No, I'm not saying that.
People have a fence.
Yeah.
Keep them do whatever they want to do within their space, but they can't come over and slaughter Jews.
Didn't we try that with the Berlin Wall? It didn't work out.
Wall and with the ghettos in Berlin under Hitler.
First of all, also there's absolutely no ethnic difference between the quote-unquote Palestinians, as you're calling them, and the people who live in Jordan. In fact, the original Palestine mandate included Jordan, and Jordanians and Syria and Iraq, and Jordanians don't even allow quote-unquote Palestinians to settle and to live in their territory. Don't you see that as a problem?
Yes. Okay. I'm not saying the Jordanians are right or the Israelis are right. What I'm saying is the Palestinians are a repressed people. And
they're an invented people. They're not a real people. They're a politically invented people. There's no difference between them and the Jordanians and the Syrians and any of these other. There's no.
But then